Hello, my name's John and I collect old bicycles.
When and why did you start collecting bicycles?
Basically, it was when we went with the family, when my children were young, to a village open day, and there were a collection of old bicycles in the schoolyard, and I got interested in looking at them and seeing and talking about the history of them, and that's what started me off. I got an old, what's known as a roadster, a real old upright and sit-up and bed type bicycle, and I went on from there.
How many bikes do you have?
Well, that's a rather leading question. I think plus 30, I think is the nearest to say, because some of them are in bits and are not complete, and there are projects. I've got a sort of project shed.
So when you get the bikes, sometimes you mend them and...
Oh yes, and get them on. The whole idea is to get them running again and working, so you can actually use them. Because I don't think there's much point in having stuff that you can't. Well, some it's difficult, like the early one, like the safety bike, to ride because it's so old. So I tend just to show that. Well, this is the safety bicycle. I said circa about 1885. As you can see, it's got its original solid tyres. It's got a plunger front brake. It's got a nice early period bell, and here we've got a block chain. And of course it's a fixed wheel. There's no gears. You just pedal at the one speed. And down the back, which we perhaps can see if you, there's a little step here, which is similar to the one when we talked about the high bicycle, where you put your left foot on and then scoot with your right foot and then vault into the saddle. And of course it has these very wide handlebars.
What do I think of bicycles? Some of them I don't think are very interesting. They just look like ordinary modern bicycles. And I think as far as I'm concerned, bicycles like penny farthings and all the other old ones, they're much more interesting. Some of these don't look old to me, so I don't class them as the same thing. Right. So, no, I'm not really that bothered about them at all, except I'd like a bit more room in the garden and in the sheds and in the garage, so I don't graze my ankles going in and out.
This is another machine. This is from 1911. It's a Dursley Pedersen. It's made of little small tubes, as you can see, in a triangular shape, and instead of being brazed, they actually are soft soldered. Dursley Pedersens, a guy called Pedersen, who was a Danish guy, made them in Dursley in Gloucestershire. He made various sizes, both for men and women, and also a tandem. It has a uniqueness to it by the fact of its shape and so forth. It also has a unique saddle, which is this saddle here, a hammock saddle, which is quite comfortable actually. And then he also invented his own three-speed gear, rather than the traditional ones that were around at the time. And so in all, it's a very nice bicycle. It also has very early aluminium used for the rims of the wheels.
How did Grandma feel when you told her that you'd wanted to build some sheds in the garden? Because she's very fond of her garden.
I don't think I told her. I think they just appeared. As the collection expanded, the sheds expanded.
No, we just said it's going to do that, and that went out, the old coal bunker went out that we had right down the bottom that was made in for the compost. So that went in the shed. One moved from there, we bought from our other house, that was moved down. Then another one was bought, put beside it, another one. And I had my clothesline all down there. I couldn't use my clothesline anymore down that bit. Yards of it I just couldn't use. And there was red currants, black currants, white currants, raspberries. So they all went. That's for bicycles. Yes, they're a bit of a menace on my property, I think. No wonder I live at number 13.
So is this a lawnmower and bike shed then?
Well, singular. Yes. But it's mostly bicycles that need a bit of doing to them, to servicing before they're really rideable.
So what do most of these bikes need added to them for them to
Well,
be
they
rideable?
just need tinkering with to make them roadworthy, the brakes adjusting, probably the gears sorting out, and so forth in general. This is a storage shed really for bits and pieces, to put on bikes and so forth, and to swap with people. And it's also the home of some of the bicycles that we've already seen in the film. And you can see there's some spare wheels, tyres, all sorts of stuff.
So do you add bits to the bikes in here, or?
No, I tend to do that in the garage.
So is this where you tinker with the bikes then?
Well, this is where I tend to do any repairs, doing the bearings or adjusting things, so forth.